Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning everyone. How are you today? Still fasting, right? I hope you are all well and hopefully we enjoy this pleasant month to the end. Amin ya rabbal alamin. Thank you very much for accepting us. How beautiful today. We are happy to be here meeting you creatively. Hopefully, all of us will always be given health, and hopefully, this meeting can provide many benefits to all of us. Today, we will present about the influence of the Covid-19 pandemic on education. The presentation this time, of course, not only me would deliver materials, but there are also my friends, namely Meli, Fitri, Sonia, and Faiza. Do you know about the meaning of education, offline education, and online education? Do you know? Okay, if you don't know about the definition of 3 points, I hope you to listen carefully this explanation. Okay, my name is Nabila Raniana Ramadhani. I delivered the first material about the definition of education, offline education, and online education. Okay, first the definition of education. According to Ki Hajar Dewantara, education is a requirement in the life of growing children. As for the meaning, education, which is to guide all the natural forces that exist in these children, so that they as humans and as members of society can achieve the highest safety and happiness. Meanwhile, according to Stella Van Patten Henderson, it is a combination of growth, self-development, and social heritage. So, it can be concluded that education is a process of learning knowledge, skills, and habits of a group of people who are passed down from one generation to the next generation through teaching, training, or research. Okay, next, number 2, the meaning of offline education. Offline education is direct learning, where teachers and students are in the same room. Taken from the English first blog. Next, number 3, the definition of online learning. Online learning is a series of instructional experience using digital networks to interact, learn, and discuss. Taken from blog Studi Ilmu.
Okay, so now let's talking about COVID-19 pandemic that has an impact on education sector. Well, talking about a pandemic is quite terrible thing. A pandemic is a disease outbreak that occur widely throughout the world. Several outbreaks were recorded that had hit the world, one of which is HIV in 1918. And however, currently the world is being hit by a virus known as Covid-19. Then, what is the Covid-19? So, according to the WHO website, COVID-19 is a large family of viruses that can cause disease in animal or human. In human, this virus is known to cause respiratory infection ranging from the common cold to more severe disease such as middle-age respiratory syndrome and severe acute respiratory syndrome. This virus can also cause minor disorders of the respiratory system, severe lungs infection, and even death. So, last year, To be persist on to March 2020, our President Jokowi and his staff announced the first positive case of COVID-19 in Indonesia. It was stated that there were 2 Indonesian citizens who were infected with the coronavirus. There was a woman, 64 years old, and an adult, 31 years old, in Depok, West Java. Reportedly, they contracted COVID-19 from a Japanese people who had visited Indonesia at February 2020. So it took only 28 days for COVID-19 to inflict all provinces in Indonesia. It was at 9 April 2020. And furthermore, it took around 5 months or 147 days for Indonesia to record 100,000 cases of COVID-19. It was occurred on 27 July 2020. And currently, Indonesia has reported 1,314,314 positive cases of COVID-19 with 36,325 deaths and around 1,100,000 recovered patients. So, to break the very deadly chain of the COVID-19 pandemic, the government made a regulation that everyone is required to do 3 rules. The first rule is wearing a mask, and the second rule is washing hands. The last is social distance. And I think everyone have to do this because this pandemic, the COVID-19, was not only take place in Indonesia, but throughout the world.
Well, since COVID-19 pandemic, various countermeasures have been carried by the government to reduce the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic in various sectors. Almost all sectors are affected, not only health and the economy. However, the education sector is also experiencing a serious impact due to the coronavirus. The COVID-19 pandemic has changed the world of education, starting from the learning process, which is usually done in the classroom, face-to-face or offline learning. But since pandemic took place, it has turned into online learning. Therefore, teachers, students, and parents are required to be able to present an effective and active learning process, even though it is carried from their respective homes. So, this change is a new challenge for the world of education. Okay, next, the implementation of the learning system in educational unit undergoes changes in generalized form of operation through learning policies and follows social policies, namely social distancing instruction. With the enhancement of the policy, the learning system has been shifted from offline to online system. Teachers must ensure teaching and learning activities continue, even though students are at home. So the solution, teachers are required to be able to design learning media as an innovation by utilizing online media. Therefore, online learning activities will be more effective and less boring. Aside from that, learning and teaching activities will run smoothly. Right, in the midst of ongoing pandemic, the world of education must continue to receive special attention so that it's not badly affected. When discussing the world of education, it will discuss the future of a nation. Looking at the current situation, The COVID-19 pandemic poses many threats to the world of education, but it can be seen from a different point of view, so that threats can be opportunities to advance the world of education. Because in fact, indirectly, without us knowing it, our knowledge increases more because online learning. I think supported by online learning application, challenging assignment, and many online seminars. Although the other hand, there are also some negative impacts that we got. But therefore, the education sector, namely online learning, has both positive and negative impacts.
Okay, for the next is the positive impact. The COVID-19 pandemic has changed the world of education, starting from the learning process, which is usually done in the classroom face-to-face, but since the pandemic, it has turned into brief learning or online. Teachers, students, and parents are required to be able to present an effective and active learning process, even though it is carried out from their respective homes. The COVID-19 pandemic has had such a negative impact, also had a positive impact on the world of education in Indonesia. This positive impact can motivate difficult times to continue to achieve the more advanced goals of Indonesian education. The following is a positive impact according to Ibu Rismawati, a junior high school teacher in Pekanbaru, that are: Okay, 1. Many online learning applications appear. The accelerations of educational technology transformation due to the COVID-19 pandemic has spawned various online learning program platforms to support both learning. Yes, the acceleration of the transformation of educational technology due to the corona pandemic has made various platforms launch various online learning applications to support learning activities at home. Many online study programs make learning more effective. Online learning applications are developed by providing features that facilitate online learning. For the example, Zoom Meeting, Google Meet, Microsoft Teams, and others. Okay, and then 2. Many online courses are free. Free online courses are starting to flourish amid the COVID-19 pandemic. Many touring agencies provide free online courses or some at discounted prices. Yes, this is also very supportive of the unstable family economy due to the COVID-19 pandemic, so that this free online course can help all students to continue learning without having to pay and ask parents for money, as applied by Ruang Guru, Zenius, Study Room, Kuiper, our class application, and so on. Okay, for the next is 3. The emergence of unlimited creativity. The COVID-19 pandemic has come up with new ideas. Scientists, researchers, lecturers, and even students try to do experiments to find new creativity and present an effective and efficient learning process so that they can carry out a learning process that is fun and not boring. Yes, in addition, students will also be more creative in doing assignments and learning. In order for the learning process to be more optimal, students need to find material that will help in learning something or completing a task. Many sources of information and knowledge can be obtained independently online. This independent initiative will foster creativity and are always actively looking for learning resources. And then 4. Internet as a source of positive information. The internet is no longer only used by students as a means of entertainment or playing social media, but it's also used to get information about the lessons being taught. Yes, If the learning process generally uses printed books as the main learning resource, and then in the online learning process, the internet is a source of information that can be used, such as accessing digital books, learning videos, and so on. Even so, of course, this must still receive assistance from both teachers and parents of students, so that students do not get the wrong information and avoid hoax. And the last one, 5. Students can be supervised by parents directly. Parental involvement is very important so that children do well in school. Some parents may think that it is the teacher's role to teach, not theirs. However, such belief does not harm parents and children. Yes, every child has unlimited potential, but several factors can influence whether they can ultimately fulfill this potential. Experts believe that the role of parents in a child's life has a broad impact, and with parental supervision, it will be easy to monitor the development directly, so that children do not start and stop learning only during the school day. They are always used to studying at home with friends and check other influences. Okay, these are some of the positives of the COVID-19 pandemic on education. Of course, there are many more positive things that we can feel. However, we still hope that the pandemic will end soon and face-to-face learning will be carried out again soon.
Okay guys, here I want to explain about the negative impact. After studying some of the positive impact of online education, it is good that we also need to know about the negative impact. There are several main impacts in online learning, online education, which according to the Minister of Education, is greatly affect about the lower level of quality of the nation children. Therefore, as students, we must know and understand what we have to do all this time. Okay, let's start it. The first one is about the students' experience social isolation. Online learning methods that are currently practiced in everyday life tend to make students often feel bored, unsafe, and tidy due to a lack of social interaction. And as a result, many students spend their time in a long-distance relationship, unable to communicate with friends, which can lead to several mental health problems such as anxiety, increasing stress, and maybe negative stuff. The second one is about the amount of cheating during the exam. One of the biggest of negative impact of online education on learning is cheating through various methods. It is undeniable that the percentage of students' quality has decreased significantly. Why? Because when they have course or assignments at home, they do very well. But why? It is different when they do in school. They look like they couldn't do anything yet. So that the teachers conclude that online education has a negative impact or cheating effect and produce completely fraudulent exam results, as students can search for answer from various website or application or maybe such as Google and many more. The third one is inaccessible to remote students population. Online education is actually easily accessible to most people. However, not at all. Even though technology is getting more sophisticated, the level of the population knows that technology is very minimal. It has not yet spread in remote environment. Therefore, this learning is less effective for them, because sometimes it has problem with signal difficulties, even to the lack of learning data packages. Okay. And then the fourth one is the decline in the quality of students. In fact, it is the most significant negative impact in the development of the last 2 years ago. According to Mr. Nadiem Makarim, the decline in the quality of students is seen from the development of skills on social experiment. This is all the impact of the lack of direct interaction between students and teachers or students with lecturers. According to him, online learning is considered not as effective as online or offline learning, because it has been proven that if learning is offline, the quality of students is getting better and more better. And the last one is about limited students' feedback. When lessons are offline, teachers can provide face-to-face input to students. Students who experience problems in the subject matter can solve them quickly and immediately understand during lectures. It is different when learning online. Everything is limited, consultation is limited, and students are very difficult to receive feedback. Oftentimes, dissatisfied because of time constraints. Okay, that's all enough about the 5 negative impact in online learning. Okay, let's discuss about conclusion. As we know that education is something very important, and it is the right of students to implement it. However, since the COVID-19 pandemic has changed the world of education, from the learning process that is usually done face-to-face in the classroom, and sometimes many people called offline learning, and then change to online from home. It is sometimes many people can call online learning. Okay. Teachers, students, and parents are required to be able to present an effective and active online learning process, even though it is done from their respective homes. In addition, we also know that this learning change has 2 specific impacts, namely positive impact and negative impact. For example, of positive impact might be we can learn to manage time to more discipline. And then for negative impact, we have to will feel bored or anxiety or stress because we cannot interact with it. We cannot interact with our friends, our teacher, our lecturers. Okay, and after we know that, I remember about the quote from Nelson Mandela. He said that education is the deadliest weapon in the world, because with education you can change the world. From this phrase, we know that education is something very important and very useful for us, and its income must be owned by every human being who wants to be successful. And according to him, the higher the education, the bigger we can change the world. Started with impossible and change and become to possible. Okay. And examples, if according to the Prophet Muhammad SAW, if someone travels with the aim of seeking knowledge, then Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala will make his journey like a journey to heaven. MashaAllah. From here, we also know that Allah and the Prophet Muhammad are very pleased with those who seek knowledge as much as possible. Therefore, for all of friends, all of you, please let us both get out of our comfort zone and then spirit to increase achievement and explore education as deeply as possible, so that later we can will extraordinary success. Because there is a saying that says, learn today and lead tomorrow. Okay, keep spirit. And I think that's clear enough from our group. Hopefully what we say from the start until finish can be useful for all of you, especially for us too. And thanks for your attention. And last say, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.